The OK Witch by Emma Steinkellner. The first chapter Friday read aloud video with the Word Nerd. Chapter 1. Something Wicked This Way Comes. We can see a room with light starting to filter in. Perhaps it's morning. We see someone stick their head out from underneath the covers, lots of wild, dark hair. Then eyes pop wide open, then slink halfway shut again. This is our main character. Her name is Moth. Moth sits up and stretches. She puts her feet on the floor, and then she begins getting dressed. A long black dress, a skull type of necklace, a black pointy hat. And then she leaves her bedroom and makes her way to the kitchen where her mom is. You can see her sneaking up, trying to spook her mom, and then she does this witchy laugh, "Mwah-ha-ha-ha-ha," and her mom looks around with a startled expression. I just love the use of this page, the very unique frames and shapes that the author put on there. I think it's so great. Her mom says, "Moth, you you look so cute." "Cute? Mom, I'm not supposed to be cute. I'm supposed to be spooky." "Oh, sorry," says her mom. "Spooky. Very spooky." And then she leans in and gives her a kiss on the cheek. "Happy Halloween, little ladybug." On the next page, her mom is asking her, "Why a witch?" And Moss says, "It's like the lady who writes your business book says, you have to dress for the job you want." "I'm serious. Halloween's the best. I get to be someone else and actually be cool, an exciting person for one day." Her mom says, "I like you every day." And Moth says, "You have to say that." Moth continues, "Besides, maybe everyone will be so distracted by Halloween they'll forget to pick on me. Everyone sticks out on Halloween, so maybe I won't stick out as much as I usually do. That's just simple logic. It makes so much sense." We're shifting locations in the scene. Moth and her mom are walking downstairs, and her mom says, "Help me open up before you go." "Okay," says Moth. And they go into this room with a wide variety, a big assortment of different things on shelves being displayed. Her mom says, "Hope there are a lot of people who need ugly stuff for last-minute costumes." Moth says, "You could always count on people wanting ugly stuff." And then she flips a sign to open. Moth is walking around the store now, and she waves to a portrait on the wall and says, "Happy Halloween, Mr. Laszlo." And then underneath it, there's a plaque. And the plaque says, "In loving memory of Joe Laszlo, 1932 to 2012. First owner of Keeper's Secondhand Treasures." Next, we see Moth standing outside of the store. We can tell now that it's a secondhand store. And then she starts walking down the sidewalk and over a bridge. While she's walking, she pulls out a book and she begins to read. She keeps walking all across town past a statue of a man that says Founder's Bluff. And then up behind her comes some kids. They're dressed as zombies and they're laughing. They smack the book out of her hands and then they ride away. One of them saying, "Noise." Moth stares after them, a sad, kind of disappointed look on her face, when somebody picks up her book and reaches up and says, "This yours?" Moth looks down to find a boy dressed kind of as a jungle explorer, and he's holding up her book. She says thank you and smiles. Hey, people on bikes, they think they can do whatever they want. Those guys think they can do whatever they want even without the bikes. The two continue talking as they walk into school. "Do you know where Mr. Tanaka's room is?" "That's where I'm going," Moth says. "You new here?" "Uh-huh. It's actually my first day." "Pretty bold to wear a costume on your first day." And the boy says, "I like to live on the edge." Moth and the new boy have reached Mr. Tanaka's U.S. history classroom and they peer in. It looks like several other students are wearing costumes. They look at each other and at Moth, and Moth says, "Can I? My desk?" And the two girls say, "Ugh, whatever." And Moth says, "Sorry." The boy sits down right next to her and says, "I'm Charlie, by the way." "Moth," says Moth. "Whoa, that's a cool name." "All right, class, settle down," Mr. Taka says. "This is Halloween, not, I don't know, Takoween." Moth and Charlie make awkward, roll their eyes faces while everyone else in the class does the same behind them. Mr. Tanaka continues. So, for a Halloween treat, I thought we'd learn about the Founder's Bluff Witch Hunt. Ooh, spooky. The hunt began when Founder's Bluff was still young. It had only recently been built by a group of settlers led by Judge Nathaniel Kramer, who you might recognize from the statue in the town square. Is he related to Mayor Kramer? That's right, Olivia. The Kramers have lived and led Founder's Bluff since 1676. The Pikes are an original Founder's Bluff family, too. I'm 100% an all-American Pilgrim beef. I moved here in 3rd grade. Ugh, we know, Rob. And where are you from, Moth? What? I don't know, Pike. I'm from here. But where are you from? We were in kindergarten together. Leave me alone. Moth sits and stews a little bit, and then her hands start hurting, and she says, ow. She pulls them out to look at them. Mr. Tanaka says, is something the matter, Miss Hush? No, but she doesn't really look like she believes herself. Moving on, Mr. Tanaka says. The 1690s were a simpler time. You'd go to church, work on your farm, get tuberculosis. But according to Kramer's journals, there were women who lived on the very edge of town. They didn't obey Judge Kramer's laws. They wouldn't speak a word to the townsfolk except to lay a curse on them. They were mysterious outsiders. Nobody knew where they came from, but it was clear they weren't Founder's Bluff women, especially their leader, whom Judge Kramer's journals referred to as the evil Fire-Eye Witch. In the winter of 1692, Judge Kramer accused the woman of bewitching his younger son, Peter. The witches fled, and Peter went missing too. Forever. Maybe Peter Kramer just got lost in the woods, or maybe the strange women were evil witches who feasted on the blood of innocent children. So Judge Kramer led the townspeople on a witch hunt to find the witches. But the witches and young Peter Kramer were never seen again. We celebrate Nathaniel Kramer to this day for his sacrifice and struggle to make the town great, even in the face of terrible personal tragedy. And one of you will be lucky enough to play him in the Founders Fest pageant. You can see in the last frame, the bell is ringing, and Mr. Tanaka shouts out, "Happy Halloween!" as the students rush to leave his classroom. Moth gets just outside the classroom door, and suddenly she has a huge headache. She runs her hands through her hair, and then her whole body goes limp. And if you want to find out what happens next, you're going to have to pick up a copy of The OK Witch from your school library, purchase it from your local indie bookstore, or grab it via the link in the description box. Then be sure to check out the rest of the First Chapter Friday playlist I have waiting for you. Many of these books are graphic novels, just like this one, but I've got novels in verse and regular prose books there too. Over 140 and counting. You can find the link for these playlists in the description box. Please like this video and subscribe, and then come back again for another First Chapter Friday video. Or check out the links in the description box for more great content on Teachers Pay Teachers, my website, Word Nerdopolis, or my social media profiles like Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for stopping by Learning with the Word Nerd. I hope I'll see you here again next time. Happy reading!